Good afternoon, Americans. This is your favorite alien on the afternoon of Monday, February 6th or 5th, February 5th, 2024. Sitting in for Paul Harvey today. Stand by for the rest of the story. At one time, Mr. Harvey did this story, and then Mr. Dyson put it on YouTube recently, and I wanted to do the rest of the story. The original story of Mr. Paul Harvey was concerning a guy named John Harvey, who was from Michigan, where I'm at now, and he went to different schools. Eventually, the University of Michigan, where he got a doctorate and was to establish work at different places. Finally, going to a hospital in Michigan. But before that, he got involved with a lady which he eventually married. And, they became the toast of the 70s. Okay? The toast of the 70s. During their honeymoon, they decided to write a book. The Plain Facts. Yes, the Plain Facts. But the Plain Facts had a quotation after it, and two words after it, which define the 70s. The Plain Facts of Sex. Now, mind you, the 70s is 2 centuries ago, people. Not the 1970s, but the 1870s. And when John Harvey and his wife wrote this book in 1879 and published it in 1879, the whole world was in turmoil, according to Paul Harvey, except that the public accepted this. Don't mind you, this is 100 years before Masters and Johnson. And they would tell you the plain facts of sex. And if you read the book, you'll know interesting. It's a lot interesting, more book than Johnson's and Masters. Because John Harvey and his wife were trying to teach you the goods and the do's and the don'ts of sex. And if you go over extreme, what would happen? If you go under extreme, what would happen? Mr. Dyson and Mr. Harvey explained this in their story. My story is about not the sex book, but the facts that came in the sex book, the plain facts. You could apply that book to today's pain in the neck Republicans and Democrats. With the issues that America have, it's the same as the issue of sex was in the 1870s. It was a taboo issue, and I have the answers and you don't. Remember, that's the way it was in the 1870s. We are the society, we have the answers and you don't. The clergy knows what's going on. Did they really? Well, they were having fun in the bedroom, but they weren't telling the rest of the masses. But John Harvey, he created this. He went on to a sanatorium, which was located in Battle Creek, Michigan, and he had some crazy ideas. Yeah. But he kept on saying the plain facts. Unfortunately, when you have plain facts, you could be like Floyd, which, have some crazy ideas about other things. But what's funny is that Mr. Harvey is not known for plain facts. Nobody ever remembers that book except for Mr. Dyson and me. I read that book, Mr. Dyson, and it was interesting. I can see why you did that, and Mr. Harvey did the story on it. But the plain facts today, as it applies to the Republicans and Democrats, if they only sat down and read that book and figured out the do's and don'ts of that particular subject, sex, and apply it to the do's and don'ts of politics, they would be more advantageous to have the American public on their side like Mr. Harvey had them on his side, big time. And this is 100 years before Masterson Johnson. And today, Mr. Harvey and Mr. Dyson, as they told you, Dr. John Harvey is best known for not sex, not his book, but how would you say, oops that happened in his sanatorium, where he was trying to tell people that you can't eat meat, you can't do this because bad bacteria is bad for you. So he came up with these different vegan type foods to feed people. And we know about vegans, don't we? Yeah. I got a friend in Florida. Her name is Trudy, and we know about vegans. But, like I said, Dr. Harvey's brother was his partner in the sanatorium. And that oops that he developed, he took it and made a few alterations to it, because it was supposed to be the food that could help people better without bringing in bad bacteria. Well, John Harvey's was John Harvey Kellogg, and his brother was William Kellogg. His brother took the piece that was then patented, and Mr. Harvey Kellogg, John Harvey Kellogg, called it eventually granola, because he had to change the name of it. He almost got sued for having the same name as something else. But granola, William Kellogg took it and formed his own company and split from his brother. Oh boy, did they have a discourse for decades afterwards on this one. But his brother's sanatorium, as Mr. Harvey didn't mention and Mr. Dyson didn't mention, burned to the ground, and ashes are still there today in Battle Creek, Michigan. His brother Will took this and built an empire with it. He called it Corn Flakes, eventually Kellogg's Corn Flakes, which started a war with another guy, W.C. Post. But you see, Americans, the plain facts are John Harvey Kellogg posted a sex manual that was pretty well received in the 1870s, 80s, and 90s. Especially the 90s. Boy, that was a gay 90s. Ooh, ooh. Yeah. But he's more remembered for the plain fact that he got to the American public and got them to believe in something which other people like Masters and Johnson took over a century later. And on the other hand, he did it twice. Because we today, breakfast of champions, but still, we still have Tony the Tiger and Wheaties and Cheerios and grape nuts. Oh, he invented grape nuts, by the way. Yeah. But the power of choice is his invention, which his brother took to heights unseen. William Kellogg's Corn Flakes is the top of the line. So now, plain facts. If you read that textbooks, Republicans and Democrats, and sit down and iron the differences like the border issues and abortion and other issues that you have. It's not Donald J. Trump. It's not Joseph Biden. It's not Democrats and Republicans. It's the plain facts that'll do this. Just like Mr. and Dr. John Harvey Kellogg and his wife, who didn't understand it when they were writing it in 1870s and published it in 1879. Their book had a tremendous issue with the public. And Mr. John Harvey Kellogg's invention for his sanatorium, which he thought was going to be for help the bacteria in the body instead of being bad bacteria would be good bacteria. And his brother Will knew that he could do something with that and added some other ingredients like sugar and made it into corn flakes, the staple of Kellogg's. This is your favorite alien sitting in for Paul Harvey. And a mention of Mr. Brad Dyson. And now, you know the rest of the story. Good day.